Today I'm gonna sorry for the audio quality. Today I'm gonna start my first video because I always wanted to install a custom ROM that wasn't AOSP based or pixel based. You know that the majority of ROMs available for the essential phone are AOSP based or the pixel GUI, right? But I don't know, I always wanted to test Miui, Color OS, so I decided to do because they are not very available. I decided to make a video to teach you guys how to install them, to how to install all these ROMs and how to make them work actually. So at first I'm gonna the first step, just to go right in, is you need to connect. It's recommended that you disable the passcode in the essential. Actually, you need to have the TWRP recovery installed, and your phone does not have to be rooted, but if you want to, you can. But you have to, this a requirement, you have to have TWRP installed. There's a lot of tutorials on the essential phone on how to install TWRP and make it stable. So here I already have them. If I'm going to have a link in the description of this video with a kind of official guide to how to install TWRP, but I'm planning to make a video on how to install it. So after you have TWRP installed, you need to disable your passcode, because actually your passcode, your phone, encrypts your data, so it makes it difficult to install new ROMs. And when in TWRP, when you enter TWRP, it's going to ask you for the passcode. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes, especially when you install ROMs that are not very supported, it gives you an error even though you're typing the correct code. So I recommend every time you're going to install a new custom ROM to disable your passcode in the past one. So then you connect. Then what have I done now? You need to connect your phone to your computer and enable file transfer. So I'm going to start by transferring. This is the zip. It's made by I'm going to extract it for a bit just to check, because the source has a lot of zips. I have tested the majority of the Miui ROMs and they're stable. The only thing that they lack, there's specifically one of the latest ones that, let me check if this ROM is correct. Yeah, it's correct. So I need to check it, because they're ones that are like their zips are like a TWRP backup, and those at least in what have I tested, those don't work. So we need to have the ones with the system IMG, the boot IMG, and the meta INF folder. This one is one of them. So now we're gonna transfer the ROM to the internal storage of the phone. Let me here. So I have already transferred the file, so we can keep this like this, right? And this is the only thing that you're gonna do on your computer is this. If you want to, if you need it, if your TWRP installation is not on both system partitions, AAB, you can transfer to the TWRP installer. I'm gonna install it, but I don't really need it because my installation covers both partitions, and that's the only thing that you're gonna do on your computer, because you cannot install this ROM. You cannot install open gaps. You cannot install gaps with a zip file. So let's just end all this nonsense. I'm going to transfer my camera, and we're gonna start recording the. Okay, so sorry if the quality of the video isn't very good, but here it is. So now we have the phone here. So what I'm going to do is restart the phone. If your ROM has this capability to restart in specific parts of the phone, of the system, great. And if it doesn't, you can do this. I'm gonna restart it normally, right? I'm gonna restart it. System, and you're gonna keep pressing this part, the volume down button, and now it will go to this menu, to the bootloader. So what we're gonna do is press with the volume knobs, with the volume buttons, we're going to recovery mode section and press the power button, and now it is going to restart. TWRP for the first time, it takes a lot. Actually, in my computer you can see it loaded. So now what are we gonna do is the next thing. The next step is we're gonna wipe the phone. We're gonna wipe Dalvik system and data, not internal storage. Internal storage, if you wipe internal storage, then you will not, it's going to delete the internal storage, and you're going to delete everything. You're not going to be able to install the ROM directly. You're going to have to use the ADB sideload feature with on platform tools, and that's not something that we want to do. And apart from the fact that if you want to keep your data, you don't want to delete it, so be careful with that. Do not delete internal storage. That's only sometimes. So wipe the system. Great. Now what we're gonna do is press back. Sorry if the lighting is like a little bit actually, well, it really doesn't seem like very bad, but I'm gonna try to fix it. Screen brightness. Now here. So what I'm gonna do now is go to the install section, and now we're gonna look out for the ROM. This one, Miui 11 9.10.1 Mara by Shanku. This is the developer of the ROM all over in China. That's what makes it difficult to find it, but well, yeah, there's here. So now we're gonna flash it normally, and it is going to do its job. I'm gonna keep recording just to reassure you people that it actually works. So now it has already installed, and now if you want to, in my case I don't have to do it, but you can flash too. And if just as I said before, if you need it, you can flash the TWRP installer. Do not flash gaps, because they're gonna give you an error and it can crash the system. But if you want to, you can flash TWRP installer. I'm not going to do it because my recovery doesn't need to, because my recovery is installed in both slots. So I don't care about that. So now we're gonna restart system. Do not install, and now we just wait. There it is. It booted very fast. Sorry, just to end what I was saying. The phone is this the same processor. That's the most important thing. Sorry. If the processor is the same, it's going to the port is going to be easier, and it's stabler and more stable. Sorry. Yeah. So he finds the phone that it's most similar to the essential phone, and he just ports it and transfers some files, like the vendor files and stuff, that need to be in the essential phone, and it really works. It's kind of, actually it's more simple than you think. So now you press here, and there's Chinese, simplified, traditional, I think, and Arabic and Hindi. I think that's Hindi. Yeah, they use it in English here. Now you're gonna see a network. Let me wait for my network. Oh, here. I was worried for a second. That's my network. Let me. This is the agreement you press here, you agree, yeah. And now this part is very important. I need to note it for you. If you press skip, it's going to keep on gathering device info, and it's not going to work. It's going to crash. It happened on all the ROMs I tested. There were a lot again. So I was worried by the first time I did this. But what you have to do is press here, forgot password. Do not click anything. Do not sign in if you have an account. Do not create one. Just click here, forgot password. Click skip, and now you fix it. So here you can configure it. There's fingerprint support. It works really well. For example, I'm going to test it with my phone. Let me create a pin. You can use Miui. It's kind of like Siri, but I don't really recommend it. It's all in Chinese, so yeah. It works, and now I'm done. I have finished it up. Oh. Something is good. Yeah. So swipe up to enter system, and here it is. It's set up. Easy. So here's the applications the developer included. So here it is, camera. This camera is not the Miui like default app. It's another camera app. Here you can see Bluetooth. If sometimes at first setup this appears to be not working, but actually it works. The only thing that you need to do is to restart the phone and it'll work. In this one it actually does work if you set it up right away, but as just a disclaimer, if it doesn't work when you install it and you press it does not work, don't panic. Just restart your phone and it'll start working. And that's the same for the GPS and weather services. At first it doesn't, for example, it doesn't detect my city, but when I restart the phone it does detect it and it works perfectly. Sorry. So here it is. Here's my the phone app. The phone app works. Like literally everything works. The only thing, there's as I said, let me finish this so I can finish recording. There's two disadvantages to this one. The first one is that NFC doesn't work. Now there's some people that don't care about it, but actually there's some people that actually use it a lot. For example, in my case, I have a special sensor, so I need to use NFC to record data in my phone, and well, I don't have this capability, so I need to use the physical sensor that is back there. So when I use Miui, I need to carry two things. That's not very cool, but well, actually that's the only thing, and I don't mind it a lot, so there's no worries about that. And the other thing that I need to clarify, just to like finish this video fast because it's taking too long, the other thing is that, well, it doesn't come with Google Apps. You can check here, for example, in the apps section, apps here, manage apps. There's Get Apps. It's like the Miui Chinese app store, because as I said before, this is the Chinese ROM, so there's no Google Apps. You can install them, and that's what I'm going to do in the next video, but I decided to make a video right away. But yeah, there's no Google ROM apps. The only one that appears to be here is this one, the Contact Sync, and you can really like uninstall it, and that's it. But installing Google Apps, it's really easy. I'm gonna to install them. There's two ways. I'm going to explain the first one. That's the easiest one, and the second one I'm going to do a special section to do it in my webpage, because it's a little bit more complicated. I need to download more files. It's a little bit difficult to explain here. It's not difficult by itself, but it's more difficult. And that's it.